Hi everyone, this is video number 2. As we're hitting the midpoint of our summer course, and the theme here is the group work. And let me sort of first of all go over what the project is, number 1, and number 2, talk about the group work a tiny little bit. This I got carried away and sent you a video that was longer than I really wanted to do. I was really hoping to keep these videos. I'm adjusting my phone to keep these videos under 5 minutes. But it's hard. You need to start talking and explaining, and it's kind of hard to do that. But let me try here. Okay. First of all, what are we doing? First, and that is this project is called Project 2, and it's an extension of Project 1, which was the innovation memo. And put very simply, what you need to do for this one is you're already placed in groups. I placed you in groups to make it easy for you. And what you need to do is everyone needs to post their innovation memo in whatever form you want. I mean, it doesn't really matter because the group is going to work together to change it. So it also doesn't matter, as I've said, we know whether it's an A, whether it's a C, whether you're happy, whether you're happy with the teacher grading and all of that stuff. But everyone should post your innovation memo as in now. And please don't procrastinate. As I was saying in the last video, we really need to move forward with this and not get blocked or bogged down. Okay, so everyone in the group posts their innovation memos, and as a group, what you need to do is decide which one you are going to work with, which one your group is going to work on. And what you're basically going to do is revise and deepen and do a little bit of research on the original innovation memo and turn it into a formal report. And that's what project number 2 is. It's a formal report. Okay, so that's, excuse me, that's the assignment. How much the group is going to change and modify the formal report, I couldn't care less, everyone. I mean, you can change it entirely. You can stay very close to the original form. It really doesn't make any difference to me. All I care about is the final product. Let me think. Now, we need to talk about how the group is going to function. And I want to keep this as simple. I keep adjusting my tie to this floppy here. I want to keep this as simple as possible. That is, I want to keep the dynamics as simple as possible. What we could do is for me to give you all these guidelines, but quite frankly, I think that's a horrible idea, because that means you've got to figure out the guidelines, and you've got to negotiate the guidelines, and then you have like a, it's almost as though you're getting tested on the guidelines more than writing project number 2. So basically what I'm saying is that if you need me to give you a precise timeline and what to do list, and I will certainly do that. I mean, there's nothing easier for me. However, what I think will work best at every level is for you just to all jump in, to cooperate with each other, divide the project into separate parts, have someone specialize in research, have appoint a proofreader, appoint a kind of primary writer of the thing, and then discuss as a group how you want to improve it. I would say that this whole thing should not take 4 hours. Okay, it really, really shouldn't. I mean, you have a good rough draft of it. All you have to do is kind of maybe add 2 pages to it. We'll say just broadly, and once again, do a tiny little bit of research. Improve the how you're projecting to the audience. The first innovation memo was an informal thing that you were just knocking out and sending off to your supervisor. I mean, this is a little more serious. So the writing should be at a higher level. The organization should be a little more thoughtful. And of course, you're spending some time on it. But it's still not hard. These first two assignments are really pretty simple. And you don't want to take them too seriously. The other thing that I want to say about this is, as always, you can do it again. Let's say your group kind of flops and you get a C- or worse. Just do it again, okay? There's no limit on how many times you can do it. Also, let me see. Let me make a kind of general point about this. And that is, see, the thing is, professional writing is different from academic writing, normal, traditional academic writing in a lot of ways. One of those ways is that, well, no, in an academic paper, you get one shot, basically, most of the time, with some variation. In professional writing, you get a lot of shots. And the thing is, as I've been saying, as I've been explaining, the goals and the expectations of professional writing are much more fluid. They change all the time. Supervisor changes her mind. The audience, that is to say your clients, changes their mind. Your supervisor changes their mind. So it's like a moving target. And it's a very important part of writing as a professional to understand this and be able to like kick out a first draft, to kick out a pretty good first draft, but not like feel overly anxious about it and think it's the end of the world if it's not so hot. I mean, the standard situation in professional writing is you send something out and you think it's great, you really tried, and your supervisor gets it, and her supervisor has changed the whole bloody assignment, and so the supervisor, is not mean, and they get nasty about it, say, no, we don't want to do that anymore, change it. Okay, so there's a smart way of handling that and a really bad way of handling it. The bad way of handling it is like to get mad and have your feelings hurt and, your ego wounded and you get mad and sulk and, say, oh, I hate my supervisor. But that's just a really bad idea. The appropriate, mature, professional way of handling it is just making sure that you understand what your supervisor is asking, number one, and number two, just do it and improve it and see it as a challenge, an interesting challenge. Now, I want to say something here. Okay, so, that's the whole, 98% of professional writing is like that, where it's easy to get your feelings hurt. It's easy to get mad. You think of, why did I have to do it like that in the first place? The crazy people change their mind. Well, that's just the way it works, okay? And only very rarely this model of a college-type paper that's set in stone and the expectations are really clear. That happens sometimes, like when you're doing a government contract. That's kind of the way that's supposed to work, but even that doesn't work like that. What do they call it? The client will say, well, we decided we don't want it exactly like that. We want it, not just for the 5 boroughs, but we want it for the 5 boroughs in upstate New York. Okay. And everyone, I can't, emphasize that enough. That happens all the time in the strictest situations. So you just learn to go with the flow. And the last thing that I want to say very quickly here is, the people who can go with the flow, the people who can adapt, your supervisors are all going to be really experienced, and they know they're asking you to do things that can be irritating, okay? And they don't usually have the time to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry that you have to do it twice, or I'm so sorry that I didn't give you clear. They don't do that. They know that they're asking you to do something kind of irritating, and they're watching to see if you can just kind of, as I'm saying, go with the flow and do it better the second time, or do what they want the second time. And then you will be chosen to be like the unit's writer. And I can't emphasize this enough, and I'll do a full lesson on this now down the road a tiny little bit, but in contemporary professional writing, and I'm just going to say this kind of quickly, but please take it to heart and think about it. The royal road to promotion is in being a good writer. And this does not mean like a fancy, I don't know, Hemingway stylist. No one cares about that at work. I mean, I couldn't care less. All they want is clear professional communication that people can read easily and can ask questions about, and that the people who are responding to the question can look at the text and say, oh, yes, they're asking for that. And those are the people who can write like that. I mean, they get promoted, and they get promoted, dare I say it, super fast, because not so many people can do that now for reasons maybe we'll talk about later. And I know from professional experience, I can't tell you how many people that I have in my professional life that I've seen they can do that. And first of all, they're kind of they don't have difficult egos, number one, and number two, they can express themselves clearly. Which does not mean, I can't emphasize this enough, doesn't mean they're good in literature. They usually don't care about literature, and literature, in a way, is not important. Just clear, simple communication. I would like to make 3 points. Those points are 1, 2, and 3. Here are 3 examples of each of my points, and let me summarize them. I mean, that's the core of professional writing. And I know the people are going to say, well, I want to be a physicist, or I want to be a computer programmer. Everyone, no matter how technical the job is, supervising, and that is getting promoted to being a supervisor, is always the same. And that is, you've got to work with people, you've got to communicate with people, you've got to give talks to people, and you've got to write reports for upper, middle, and senior management. And, if you cannot do that, you can be Einstein, but you're not going to get promoted in most cases. There's some exceptions, but by and large, that's the way it works. I know many, many, many very brilliant programmers and chemists and medical researchers who kind of got stuck, are stuck, because they're not good at that people stuff, and they're not such clear writers, and they're not comfortable with the process of writing at work. And that's what we're teaching you in this class, the process of writing at work. And this is, let me sort of say it in a different way. It's not very difficult. Okay? The right kinds of writing that we're doing in this class, as I said in my earlier video, don't overthink them. Don't turn it into some kind of complicated, super sophisticated scholarly project. Frankly, in 99.8% of the cases, no one cares about that. They just want really, really clear exposition, clear presentation, and being able to improve in a second draft, third draft, fourth draft, fifth draft. Usually in most of the reports that I wrote, and I mean, I've written thousands, literally thousands. What I did, and I've reviewed even more. I mean, I can't even count. I can't speculate as to how many reports of my employees that I've read and either kicked back or moved forward. In all cases, simpler was better. Okay? And the other thing is, the professional writer's best friend is the waste paper basket, so to speak. Whatever it's called on a computer. Gosh, God, I forget what it's called. I'm looking at the waste can, whatever. That is to say, you always have to do things many times, okay? And you just have to be patient with that. And you've got to it's kind of the endurance. You've got to get used to doing that. Okay, and then once again, as I've been saying, that's one of the reasons, it's not the only reason, but it's one of the reasons why I'm so flexible about do-overs. It's not because I'm such a good guy. That doesn't enter into it at all. But I know the mode of at work, in writing, is to do things over. Again, is not to hand in highly polished, long texts with thorough research and APA and that's just not occasionally. I don't want to say never, but it's really, really, really rare. Okay, so that's enough. I'm sorry, I did it again. Oh God, I can't believe it's even longer. It's 14 minutes, but I hope you found this fun and interesting, and you should do these assignments in a lighthearted and focused way. Thanks, everyone.